just guess. What did you do, Evelyn? What did you do? Happy New Year, bitches, and welcome back to my channel. You've already read the title, so you know that this video is part 2 of every book I read in 2021. Part 1 is going to be linked in the description box down below, so definitely go and watch that. And before continuing with this video, I wanted to quickly talk about Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas because that book is definitely going in the problematic books video. I did film for it, but I got distracted in the middle, so I left it in the middle. That's why I couldn't add it in the previous video.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
So the book is about two kids who become pen pals through school anonymously, and they remain pen pals throughout their school until they meet in person, and one of them knows the other person is their pen pal, but while the other one has no idea. And like the plot is good, but there were so many things that pissed me off about that book. First off, the slut shaming. Like, every girl who's interested in the male protagonist is a slut, and that just was really annoying to read. And the way they put women against women in the book is again another thing I don't like. Like, books like these are the reason why people think girls can't be friends, and that's so not true. I mean, all my best friends are girls and they're amazing, so it's just really annoying. And I get it that it's fiction, but it's just, I don't like it. When I read it for the first time, I did not find it that problematic because I had just started reading. But the more books I read, the more I realized how problematic the book is. I would not recommend anyone reading the book. Of course you can, but like, I wouldn't recommend it. Overall, the book was a 2.5 for me. I don't think I would ever read it again. Yeah. Alright, you can go ahead and watch the video now. Bye! The next book I read was The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. This book is by Mariana Zapata. I'm not playing favorites. This book was recommended by Steph, so that's why I remember the name. If slow burn is not your thing, I would recommend skipping it because my friend tried to read it and she DNF'd it. She's like, I can't finish this.
Clap if you care. Clap if you care.
Because the pattern in her books is like they get close and then something happens, and then they get close and something happens, and you're like, oh my god, just get together already. Such a good slow burn. Like, if you're the kind of person who likes slow burn, this book is for you. I loved this book. I loved their relationship. I loved that they went kind of from enemies or strangers to friends to lovers. Like, they're not really strangers, but they are. You need to read the book to know it. And then they become friends, and then they become lovers, and I really like that. I hate insta love. I hate it when they're instantly like, I'm obsessed with you. Like, no, they made a good friendship and then it progressed over time, and it was so fun to read. So I give this book 4.5 stars. Go ahead, read it. Next, I read the Off-Campus series, and just guess, I love this series so much. There are 4 books and I did not read the 4th part because I don't like accidental pregnancies, and I think I would have read it if she hadn't put it up in the blurb. Like, you know, because see, the guy is missing in so many books. In the 3rd book, Tucker is missing. It's Tucker, right? See, bad with names. He's missing throughout the 3rd book. Yeah, so you are curious about where the hell is this guy, and the girl he's with is the girl Dean hates in the 3rd book. If we hadn't known where he was going and why he was going, I think the book would have been so much more interesting. I started the 4th part, but I just did not like it, did not get me hooked. Stop reading it. I liked the 1st book, but the 2nd and 3rd book, Logan's and Dean's book, oh my god, just this series is so good. You need to read this. If you're looking for a series, read this series. So good. I'm gonna rate the series 4.5. It's that good. You need to read it. The next book I read was The Chase from the Briar U series. I only read the 1st book. I will read the series, but this book was so good. Like, the chemistry was so good. The plot was so good. I was so hooked the entire time. You need to read this book. I gave it 4.5. So yeah, go ahead, read this. I think you should go ahead and read both the series. If you want to read a series, go ahead, read this one. So good. Next book I read was Heartbreak Prince from the Broken Hearts Academy. I accidentally read this book. My friend had recommended me to read the Royal Hearts Academy, but I started reading Broken Hearts Academy because I'm dumb like that. And when the 1st part ends, there's this huge cliffhanger kind of thing. So I started the second book, but I got bored in the middle of the book, so I DNF'd it.
And
Overall, I did not like it that much. The first book, the bullying was a little extreme. It was not for me, and I'm the kind of person who can take anything. When you read Mafia, you know, so much shit goes on. There was just too much going on in this book and then in the series. There's a reason why no one talks about this series, I guess. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I don't like it. After this, I read the Royal Hearts Academy, the series I was actually supposed to, and I really liked it. There are 4 books. Well, you could say 3 novels and 1 novella, but I liked them all. I completed the series in less than a week, and I told my friend, and she was like, bro, how fast do you read? I was like, it's so good. The 4th part though, Broken Kingdom, definitely my favorite part. So good. The entire series was so good. It's like, it has all the tropes. It has friends to enemies to lovers, it has brother's best friend, and there's like so much going on in these books. I really liked it. You should definitely check it out. I gave the series a 4.5, and I might even reread it. So this is a good series, so go ahead and read it. The next book I read was Kulti, Mariana Zapata. So of course it's gonna be slow burn. I'm not gonna lie, the plot was so similar to The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. Like, it had the same vibe and everything was so similar, and still I liked it. Because like, it was a fun read. It was slow burn, so of course I liked it. I liked the book. There's angst, and then there's sports, and then their relationship is good, and again it was kind of enemies to friends to lovers. So I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Will I read it again? Not really. It's a really long book, but I really liked it, so you should check this one out. Don't mind the lighting, guys. The sun is setting, so the lighting keeps changing. But yeah, the next book I read was All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover, and I thought I was gonna love this book, but I did not. Maybe it's because this book dragged on for a week for me. Like, I'm the kind of person who reads a book in one sitting or in a day, and it took me a week to complete this book. So this book is in both their past and present, and in the present you see their marriage falling apart, and in the past you see them falling in love. And I felt like the present was stretched out just so we could see them fall in love in their past, which was something that I did not like, and it was getting a little boring for me. Plus the miscommunication, like, if you could just communicate. I don't mind miscommunication, but the miscommunication in this book was really pissing me off. I was like, could you just talk? And in the present you could feel yourself siding with Graham, but Colleen was like, you know what, I don't want you all with Graham, I'm gonna put you on Quinn's side. So she made him fuck up in a way, and you're just sitting there like, why? Like, I don't know. And then the ending is kind of the suspense, which makes up for the entire book, you could say. But this book is just, I was a little disappointed by this book. I wish I liked it more. I really tried to like it. I did. And like I've marked so many pages because there are so many good parts in this book, but I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, so I gave it a 3.5 rating. Don't come at me. Alright, the next book I read was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Do you see this? I loved this book. This book is so good. 5 stars straight away. The plot, so good. I was so invested in the plot. I wanted to know what happened with Evelyn, and I wanted to know what happened with Monique, and I just could not put this book down. I read it in one sitting, absolutely loved it. The story is so good. The plot twist in the end is, oh my fucking god, because you see yourself along with Monique empathizing with Evelyn, and Evelyn is like, don't do that, you're gonna hate me in 3 days, you're gonna hate me by the end of this. And you're like, what did you do, Evelyn? What did you do? And then you get to know what she did, and you're like, oh my fucking god. And the love of her life, and you get to know about them, because 7 husbands, all right, you need to know who was the person she loved the most, and you get to know that. And the plot, the setting, the romance, everything about this book is amazing. I loved it so much. I wish I could go back and reread this book because it is that good. This is definitely my favorite read this year. This book put me in a reading slump, for fuck's sake, because it was so good. I felt like no book could make up for this ever again. That's how good I think this book is. Am I overhyping it? Sure, but I love it. I love it so much. You need to go and read this. You know what? I told you to go ahead and read these books. Drop everything. Read this. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Read this book. This book is the definition of perfect. Like, this book is perfection for me. I loved it. I would sell my soul to the devil to read it for the first time again. Go ahead, read this right the hell now. After reading Evelyn Hugo, I needed a small, cute read, like a fluffy book, especially a book with less drama. So I read The Love Hypothesis again, completed it in one sitting, totally loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. The book is so cute, their relationship is so cute. It's like reading a cheesy rom-com, but I loved it. Was there drama? A little bit at the end, but I loved it. I loved the book. It was so cute and so adorable. So yeah, go ahead, read that, but after Evelyn Hugo. You need to read Evelyn Hugo first. Read that and then read this book. The last book I read was Throttled. I read it last week. I completed it in one sitting again. You see, you feel me? When I like a book, I completed it in one go. And I really liked it. I like the story. The guy is a racer, F1 racer, if that's what you call it. And like, it's kind of forbidden because the girl's brother is also a racer and he joins their teams. Him and the main guy have to be in the same team. Now, the main guy is a fuckboy, you could say. Her brother is like, you need to stay away from him, just, you know, maintain your distance, and you're like, okay. So this guy has a lot of daddy issues, but I really like the fact that he worked on them. He went out of his way to work on himself, and that just was so sweet to me. Overall, I loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. So you could definitely read this. This is a part of a series. There are like 4 books in this. So I'm gonna read all of them, but Throttled was really good. We're finally done. The sun is literally about to set. I've been at this for almost 2 hours now. I've been speaking so much. Oh my fucking god. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. I'm gonna put all the timestamps for the books in the description box down below. Don't forget to like this video because your girl has been speaking for so fucking long. And don't forget to subscribe because I'm gonna be making a lot more videos on books in 2022. So yeah, stay tuned. Bye.